I'm here and I'm dysfunctional, but we're ready now. We have the wonderful and amazing Kris Harvey in the building with us. Yo, mad pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thank you for being here, man.
Thanks for dragging me all the way back to the hood.
Yeah, man. You said it was how long? Give me a timeline.
Yeah, it's been a minute. But,
hey, man. Riding down.
Sometimes, downtown's where it's at. So I try to
honestly,
stay there.
If I could, that's where I'd be. I'd be living downtown all the time. I was actually in the summer, which just for a little bit with my partner at the time. And
it feels weird when you have to drive. It's a very Edmontonian thing to drive.
Very much so. Like that. The main thing about being an Edmontonian is I have to have a vehicle. Like totally. Outside of downtown, you have to. You can't get nowhere.
And if you have a truck, you get shit done apparently. So Hong Kong.
Hey, fuck, get out of the way. Also.
That's the moral of the story, I guess. But
hey, man, it's good to have you back on the South Side, man. The South Side misses you, Kris.
Back, 34th Avenue.
Yes, 34th. Yeah, if you watch, I got old music videos with 34th, 34th Street in my shit. Nah, but how's the day been, man? How's the week?
Good. Everything's been great.
Yeah.
Life's good.
Life's good.
It's nice to be reopened. Spring's here.
Yeah, man. It's been a fucking tough one.
It's been a long 2 years.
It's been a long 2 years.
But it's nice to be back, and this is I know Jason Kenny had his Hot Boy summer last year.
Yep.
It was the best summer ever for him, but I disagree. I think this is gonna be the best summer. So
I'm with that.
It's nice to be back and be back to normal-ish.
That's good. Sure. Yes. It's good to be back to normal, because I've been fucking freaking out for the last 2 years, just silently by myself. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
But now that things are kind of coming back to fruition, and I can see I'm DJing at the Pint right now, and that shit is insane.
Oh yeah, totally. They're doing it, man.
They're going insane.
Rowan's so sick, dude. Such a G.
Shout out you, Rowan.
Yeah,
man.
And
Duncan. Yeah, always.
Ozzy, what up?
I've never met Ozzy.
He's the best.
I gotta meet Ozzy.
He's the best.
But it's only a matter of time, Ozzy.
Yeah.
So we'll catch you up there.
Well, I'll drag Jaylin downtown.
Hey, please do. I haven't been to the Pint downtown. I know you play there a couple times, right?
Totally.
That's what's up, man.
Those guys are great, man.
I gotta go get some drinks over there.
Yeah.
Schmooze a little.
Well, it's funny because I've been doing stuff for a really long time, but the reason why I fuck with those guys, or I guess why they fuck with me, is because I used to throw parties at the Bank and Fluid and places that they owned way previous. So
people don't know these names. A lot of y'all younger motherfuckers don't know these names. Talk about that a little bit.
Google it, but they're actually even my landlords for the Chvch of John's.
Oh shit!
On the whole building and everything. So
damn, that's dope.
So it's nice to they're very behind the scenes owner operators. So guys like Austin and Al are always the ones that everybody gets to see, but which I don't mind. Those guys rule too.
Right.
So.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, no, man. Cool. I had no idea. Damn.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how would I know that they...
City doesn't change that much. We were talking about it before. It's as much as there's all this new stuff, there's just, there's still stuff that
has been built. Yeah. And that's
good infrastructure for sure. It's a good place to grow from.
That's what we got to pay homage to and build on. Like you said, that's the foundation, that's the structure. And if we can build upon it, then you'll see, I'm talking to y'all out there, you'll see Edmonton can push past all these barriers that might be in your head if you think about it, because they're not really there. It's just, can we get work done together collectively also is a big thing. I know a lot of people want to be very, cliquey or selective, and which is cool. But at the same time, when I see a bunch of people coming together and getting shit done, they're all in trucks, driving their trucks down, then it really it does show that people have been putting in work here, and the fact that we're now sprinkling the seasoning on this meal that's been created is just adding that nice finishing touch to everything.
Yeah, totally. And I kind of feel like it's almost like kindling, we've been through this drying season, and it gets rid of a lot of stuff, it's been shitty to hear businesses closing. It's been shitty to see the lack of support from Alberta government and stuff, but people who've been able to make it through, and people to find a way, or really cool, amazing BIAs, Downtown Business Association, Panita and team has been incredible. They're trying to save downtown, and
that's great, man.
It's that sort of stuff that helps rebuild this infrastructure, but it is a great opportunity for other people to be able to step in. I know there's going to be a number of new businesses opening. you know, I'm on calls with the city all the time, and they talk about how there's new business licenses, or there's, you know, a record number of new business licenses in 2021 and 2022. So that means stuff's coming back.
People want to come, and they're trying to take over the market again.
Hey, there's opportunities, and sometimes you need a little bit of a reset to do it, but yeah, we're looking forward to it.
And it has been a reset, and do you feel like it has been a opportunity maybe to come back with something fresh, or is it how has this whole situation for you felt? Because you are, if you don't know, he is the owner of, if you want to say, Chvch of John. And you know, this man is a wonderful DJ. He's been doing a lot of great work, throwing parties for years in the city, creating an industry. And you went through one of the, just like, well, everybody, but you had a lot of shit on your plate beforehand going into the pandemic. How did that kind of like...
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I don't know, like, Chvch of John's been around, so we just would have had our 6-year anniversary, so
amazing.
We're working on an actual party because we missed it, so maybe a 6.5 or something like that.
Yeah, but, for sure.
You know, it's I've been doing this for 21 years.
Yeah.
Throwing events, and, you know, like, luckily people think I'm not that old, but I'm in my 40s. I've been around a minute. So.
Nah, man, you could definitely pass for a nice 28.
It's the beige, you know, being East Indian, it helps for sure.
Bro.
So.
You're East Indian?
Yeah, I'm half East Indian.
What?
My mom's from... My mom was born in Africa.
Bro, I didn't know that at all.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
Yeah, it's pretty
obvious.
Pride,
man. That's what's up. I didn't know that at all.
I'm halfway.
I love
too,
that.
So, you know, the white shirt park side over here.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect. Oh no, I didn't know that, man. That's what's up.
It's like I don't know. It's always been interesting, man. Growing up, and I grew up in the West End, and we moved to Sherwood Park when my dad got remarried. And my stepmom's awesome, and Sherwood Park was a great place to grow up, and it was a great place to be. It gave me an opportunity to have a little bit more of the privilege opportunities that I wouldn't have had growing up living in the deep West End. So and some of the stuff we didn't have growing up, and being, you know, a visible minority and grouped with visible minorities.
Right.
Whereas in Sherwood Park, I was like a visible minority, but I still got to go play sports every day. I didn't get like kicked out of restaurants, or, you know, it was still like almost tokenism. So it was interesting. It's definitely some stuff I still have to work through, you know, like some of the code switching and things like that I didn't realize I was doing, but it did create really cool opportunity for me to be a role player. That's what's and be able to find ways into rooms that we don't normally get invited to. So yeah, that's kind of the story of how we came to be. And I started right after high school. One of my best friends, Justin, he was like, I want to open a restaurant. I'm like, okay, so what's up? And he's like, we got to do it. So I'm like, okay.
I love that.
And so he's like, well, why? Like, why would you want to work with me? And he's like, well, everybody likes you. So obviously if everyone's fuck with you, then that's a good thing. And not everybody likes me. So I can be the dick, and you can be the nice person. And I'll kind of push and drive us to places that we don't necessarily think we'll go to. Right. And you can, like, you know, steer the course and make sure we're doing it right, you know? So
I love that.
To Toronto, went and did his food and beverage degree. And I went out there on vacation, and like 19 was my first flight I ever been on. Flew by myself to Toronto, had a great time, came back. He came back for the summer, and then he went back in September, and he was like, yo, everybody thinks you live here. Like, they're all trying to find you. Everybody's trying to offer you jobs and stuff. So I just went out to Toronto, worked there for a year. Yeah. Came back, and we started Connected Entertainment in 2002, and started doing, like, bringing house music. It was mostly house music, and back then it was just, like, rave scene. You know, the 90s was a big rave time, and the Halo at the time, where Bauer and Red Star was the only place that was doing, like, cool house music. So Blair, Sal, and Jay were the only ones who were really, like, pushing cool culture and making house music sexy, or electronic music sexy. And we were into it. And we were like, you know, this is something that is worth bringing out of the underground and into the light. So we started doing, like, really cool collaborations with fashion shows. We got really awesome press and media. And we started booking, like, world-class DJs within our first year. So
that's crazy.
It was really, really cool for us to be able to go within our first year, go from, like, doing, you know, 50 to 100 person parties. We were actually doing parties with Harmon, where he would do the joint for, like, 1,500 people. And we would do, like, the
side room, like,
upstairs.
Oh,
Not
shit.
even the side room. It was, like, upstairs for,
where was
like,
this
50 people at the joint where Bed Bath and Beyond.
Oh shit! That's crazy.
It was a venue way back in the day. Get your mom to show you some photos. But,
Definitely. What?
but they had like rock shows there. They had hip hop shows, like Sean Paul would play there, Sean would play there, and
That's dope.
Harmon would bring all that stuff.
Right.
And then my business partner Justin and Nestor, who you might know, Nestor Delano and Nestor Chvch, they did promotions for Harmon too part time. So
shit.
it was like kind of a perfect storm of him needing us to bring like cachet and white people.
Yeah, 100%. People are gonna spend some money.
Everything was like, well, it was not so much the money thing. I think it was more about the optics for the owners, the business owners that were like, I don't want another black crowd. I don't want another brown crowd. And it's like, it's racism. Straight up.
100%.
So
we still see it all the time.
So we saw it as a cool opportunity where we can say, listen, it's not about colored people. So sure, we'll bring the like non-black element, the non-brown element, the white element. But not really, like just because.
Yeah, just because it's a different type of music.
Man, our one anniversary, we did an interview with the Journal, and they actually were interviewing us, and they're like, well, why do you think in your first year you went from promoting like side rooms at Harmon's parties, and they didn't quote the other names that they dropped, but like, there's like Veet, who worked for, at the time, United was his company, and he did Benson Hedges parties, and he's an Asian guy, and then we have Harmon and Archie doing like hip hop stuff, and why did we go from 50 people to like, you know, a 500 to 700 person mainstream venue at the Standard was what it was when they opened, and doing like, you know, Grammy award winning DJs with like Roger Sanchez, Frankie Knuckles, like these guys. You gotta Google them if you don't know. You gotta
Google.
Frankie Knuckles is Godfather House music. He like basically invented it. So you know, we bring these people to Edmonton, and they're like, why? How did you get Roger Sanchez, a Grammy award winner, in your first year? And I was like, because they just look at us as two white kids from Sherwood Park. Right. So they let
their
us
optic.
In the room,
it's the optics, man.
So they let us in the room, and it was just a fact. It's not that I was proud of it.
Right. No.
It was more like trying to shine a light on it. Like, I'm not white.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
So like, we took a lot of heat from that, and it is what it is. But at the end of the day, the fact is that, you know, it gave us an opportunity to do more, and also gave us an opportunity to make sure we always had other people in the room that might not be in it. So that was really fun, and that's how we grew. So we went from Standard doing a Thursday to doing Thursdays and long weekends, to doing and still doing stuff at the Bower. Well, it was Halo at the time, and then we moved over to the Bank. So once Standard closed, they did a big reno, and it didn't really work. So they turned that into a country bar, the Ranch. We moved down to the Bank, where I don't know, Boulevard was last, I guess, and it's being renovated right now.
Is that becoming something?
Yeah, it's becoming, I think, El Furniture Warehouse or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So I think they're supposed to open up soonish.
That's pretty dope.
But yeah, it'd be nice to have some more traffic on that block.
Definitely,
too,
yeah, man.
But yeah, so we went there and we started doing parties there, and just started with long weekends, and then Justin, my business partner, he's always like pushing me in like way too far. Like, I'm like, that's too much, man. I don't think we can handle that. And he's like, let's just do it anyway. So
that feels like me, right?
So that's like, you know, I'll talk about partnerships and stuff, but like,
please,
that's like, again, like when we got the Standard, even booking the Standard gig, so doing every Thursday at the Standard, we got paid like a good amount of money every week to program, promote, do this stuff. Like it was almost like we each could get it was like our full-time job almost at the time.
Right.
And this is how much like it's just about the hustle. Is like we literally got dropped off there, and we walked from where the Ranch is back to White Avenue to be able to get picked up.
Damn.
And we just walked down the highway after we just closed.
I did that walk.
Yeah, it's usually drunk and not by choice. But
no, that one was sober and by choice. Sorry.
Maybe, yeah. But you know, normally.
Normally, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just one of those humbling experiences where you're just like, you know, it's not fake it till you make it. It's like you got to put yourself out there and do the thing, and if people believe in you, then you just got to stay humble and still like recognize where you're at and where you want to go to. So that was a really, really cool experience. And then doing the same thing and leveling up again, where Justin worked with the Bounce, and he was like, we need to take this out of the underground, so let me try to put together a package that puts house music on mainstream radio. And the Bounce is 90, I think it was 91.7
at the time. I got a sticker somewhere in my room.
So 91.7 is always mainstream radio station, right? It's a top 40 radio station. So he put together a package, built together sponsorship, and we ended up getting the Friday 11 to 1 o'clock slot.
Oh,
live
oh,
to
wow.
air.
That's fucking crazy.
With like Nestor Delano,
Yeah.
Luke Morrison, and then we ended up bringing like Mikey Wong and Dusty Cruz
Dope, yeah.
and other guys up through the ranks to as like Luke moved on to Calgary and stuff, and it was just one of those things where it never existed before. You know, putting electronic music on mainstream radio in Alberta especially,
Yeah, it didn't
just
happen.
didn't exist.
Yeah.
And it got so positive and so amazing that we ended up getting a second club night across the street because they also own Fluid, and that was a 100-person venue across the street. And you know, don't mind me bragging about.
Maybe you gotta
like,
say it, man.
But it was good, man. It was like they were like, yo, we got 200 people in lineup. There's only 100 people capacity across the street. How about you guys just do something there, and we'll just like take their money while they're in line.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like was even make it a queue, right? So
That's how
That's
businesses
smart, yeah.
should work.
yeah, but
Clubs,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it works together, and it really had the foresight to do it. They invested in us, and they took risks with us, and it wasn't free. We worked hard, you know, and we didn't make as much money as maybe we should have in hindsight. But nobody was taking advantage of anybody. We're all like working hard together, and
That's awesome.
to build these partnerships, and it was really really amazing to see what we could do. And we went from like, you know, the standard stuff was crazy, like you know, booking fucking everybody there. From like those guys to like Sasha to Digweed, these guys are like Carl Cox we had there.
Oh my god!
Like, these are
What?
the number one people in the
Holy
world.
fuck!
Like, yeah, like Cascade played for my birthday.
Holy
I remember
shit.
trying to sell the owners of like, yo, we could book this guy Cascade
Right.
from LA, and they're like, or I think he was even in Chicago at the time, and they're like, $1,500 too much. I'm like, listen, it's my birthday. You know I can bring out 300-400 people, so let's just do it. And they're like, okay, we did it. And I was like, Cascade's like, yo, this is crazy. And then we booked him for like 5 years straight.
That's sick. You
Wow,
just built a
he's-
relationship just off that one party.
He still reaches out and says happy birthday. And
I
shit,
love that, man.
You know, and like being able to do that sort of stuff and really build a scene. And then when we went downtown, we couldn't bring in other DJs because whenever we did, like Cascade came and played and did some stuff, but like some of these other ones, they're just not selling tickets on the night we already do business.
I see.
So you know, Justin did a great job of getting some extra sponsors, and we ended up syndicating the Pete Tong Essential Mix on the
shit.
Bounce as well.
That's dope.
So that was another show that was on the Bounce. So again,
That's
this
fucking
is
crazy.
like 2005 maybe.
You guys were
So-
pushing.
Yeah, we were
pushing.
Yeah.
Thank God that you're saying this because like
Yeah.
people don't know this,
Some
man.
people- yeah,
People have no
behind the
idea.
scenes.
Literally, and
Well, I
all.
think if you're born in 2004, you
Well-
can get in the club now, right?
Yeah, I think
so-
somewhere around there, right?
So, yeah. So
They're just on the cusp.
before they were even born. So
Exactly.
I get it. And it's not like a bad thing. You know, other people were doing great things. Like Blair and Sal and Jay were doing killer stuff over at the Bower. You know, Veet was still doing amazing events. He built a club called Escape at West End where the joint was.
Yeah, Escape.
And they did tons of stuff. We did parties out there. And it was just like, for us, we just were really, really stoked that it became like a local culture thing. And it wasn't just about like, sure, we leverage brands. Heineken was a big sponsor for us. Red
Right.
Bull was a big sponsor for us. But it was just about like really getting the message out there and changing Edmonton for the better. We'd go to like, at the time where like local is on Jasper Ave, it was Joey's. And it was the coolest spot downtown.
Right.
Like you line up every night. It was like Cactus Club when it opened.
Right.
And we'd walk in, and not only would they like move us past the whole line and do everything, which we didn't really ask, but they'd go put on the house music station. And they'd be
Wow.
like, yo, put it on. Like, yo, these
I'm
guys
trying to
are
get to that
really-
level.
Yeah, cool.
That's
Well,
fucking lit.
You
That's
know,
awesome.
we're touching 1,000 people
Yeah.
on Friday night every week.
100%.
You know, it was cool, but it also gave us really cool opportunities to take risks.
Yep.
You know, we did like Cascade at the Bank tent. They did a giant tent out back for like
Oh, shit.
1,500 people
Holy
during
fuck.
every summer.
Right.
And for like 4 or 5 years, and it was amazing.
Mm.
So we could like book artists. They would book non-electronic stuff too. Like I remember I was just guest bartending one day out there, and it was like Big Boy was doing a show.
Oh shit.
And
That's
I was
dope.
like- I was just hanging out and like making drinks, and Big Boy saw me like rapping along to his sound check, and he just started. He's like, "Yo, get the fuck over here!" I was like, "Yo, what's up?"
What? That's
You're
crazy.
a god, man.
Literally, like
Yeah.
that's one half outcast, man.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. It's right when the duo album came out. too.
Oh
So
God.
It was like there's so much cool stuff that's happened in Edmonton, and it gave us opportunity to really take those risks. And then while we're doing that club night across the street at Fluid, we started booking like what we thought was the next thing.
Right.
So it was like this. We called the nightclub or the club night Neon Nights because it was kind of like Mastercraft was coming up. Like, you know, there was like this cool electronic vibe coming out.
Right.
And so we booked like Steve Aoki for 100
Ooh.
people.
That's crazy.
Diplo for 100 people.
Holy
That's
fuck.
fluid. Like,
That's
we
crazy.
did a ton, man. And
Yeah.
it's like, you know,
Yeah, wow.
and me and Steve became really close friends for a long time because he was just like, yo, how the fuck you get into stuff like we were in Pace Rock and all these other guys that were part of his Dim Mat crew, but like,
Right.
he's like, how are you doing Mastercraft at like 100 people?
Yeah, literally.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, how do you do that? Like,
What-
we're just trying to build it. We want to make sure the hype's so great that the next time they come, it goes to 400 and 500 and 1,000. And then they become too big and that's all good, you know? Like, I know, I'm just happy to be here, you know?
Man.
And sometimes, like, not everybody, you know, you're not buying, everyone's not a lottery ticket that wins, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of times it's just good people, good DJs, good producers, and it's all fun. But you're like, we're trying to educate the city on what we want to see more of, and it was great, man. It was super, super cool. So
It's
kudos to Justin to always push an envelope and, you know, biting off more than we could chew, per se.
Yeah.
You know? And, yeah, it was anyway.
in those moments when he was doing that, were you like, man, like trying to reel him back a lot of the time, or did you kind of just let him go,
No,
lose
fuck.
his mind, and then come back to you and be
he
like,
just like straight up, he was just confident in it.
I like
I
that.
was like, yo, you're fucking crazy.
yeah,
And I don't want to be holding the bill at the end of the day.
yeah,
Which unfortunately I was. It wasn't always nice, but it was good times, and we developed something, and we built culture, and we built community and great relationships with sponsors and venues, and you know, help big up DJs and local DJs, and you know, help put people in an opportunity that they might not have been in.
Mhm.
You know, like Mikey Wong, for example, is one of my favorites because I bullied him into DJing. We used to just go
Really?
to raves together.
Oh,
in,
shit.
like, late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, we have this basement at the bank, and it's like fucking slammed. So like, can you just come and play? And he's like, wow, man, I like play like progressive house and trance
Right.
and stuff. And I'm like, but I know you love house music. Can you just play it?
yeah.
Like, I'll
Just
book
play
you
it.
in.
Right.
I'll book you in. And he's like, okay, fine, I'll do it. And then he booked it, and he just like packed it down there. And he's like, I'm like, Kate, let's do this like every second week. And he's like, okay.
He was sold.
And then, and then I'm like, okay, let's do it every week. And he's like, okay. And then I'm like, Luke moved to Calgary, and I'm like, okay, let's move you upstairs. He's like, yo, I don't know if I'm ready for that. And it's like, no, you're ready.
You're ready.
Let's go. And so Nestor, Mikey, and Dusty took over the Fridays upstairs, and we're live to air on the radio.
That's so
And it just
crazy.
crushed it, man. It was so good. And at the same time, they got 500-600 people in the club, and I only have like 100 people next door for
Right.
like for Aoki.
For literally.
You know what I mean? On the same
Yeah.
night, right? Locals against these giant headliners.
Exactly.
So it was really, really cool to see that. But obviously, Aoki's fucking monster, and he's amazing. Cascade's a monster, and you know, Fields the House Cat's a monster.
Definitely.
Tommy Adams
That-
a monster.
that's crazy.
Chris Lake, like we couldn't
Yeah.
even put Chris Lake and Deadmau5 in the club. We
Really?
had to take them to the after hours. We couldn't. They were too small.
Holy shit.
We couldn't sell tickets to Chris Lake or Deadmau5.
Damn.
Like literally,
Wow.
like Joel's like, "Yo, what's going on, man?" I'm like, "Dude, this is like, we didn't sell tickets, man."
Damn.
And all of a sudden they blow up, and they, you know,
And then then it becomes a whole. Yeah. Now you're.
and it's great, and we love it because it's like really helps. You know, like I'm not necessarily a EDM fan, but I appreciate what it does for the culture and what it does for popularity, and the more of these musicians that make money, you
Hey.
know, that's kind of like our mantra with like church. It's like we pay people that are common minded because that money you take, whether it's to pay rent, whether it's to pay for gas, whether it's to take a day off, whether it's to put towards vacation, it puts you back in that opportunity to do things positively and make
Yes.
positive decisions. So that's what, you know, we don't hire people just because they're a certain way. It's mostly, or because we have like a box and you have to fit in this box. It's like, no, if you're a really good person and we're stars align, then let's get you in and
Amen.
try to make it work, man, because
Yeah.
we know it's only gonna create this like positive perpetual motion for all of us.
Honestly, you've created one of my favorite spots in the city.
Like,
And
helped
you,
create it too.
no, I was there earlier, but it's become something that I am proud to have had a hand in at all, and it is you were like your venue was my first gig that I got on my own, so I will always think of you, Sam, and the Chvch of John as like just the starting of my entire career.
Yeah.
So it's to me it's also super inspiring, and people need to give you your flowers if they have not given you your flowers that they need to. They need to be coming up to you, kissing your
Save
feet.
the flowers, save the flowers.
Kiss this man's feet, man. All I'm saying is you're just like to me, you are one of the most inspiring humans
Thanks, man.
in the moment right now, for sure, because I want to one day reach a level of your stature where you were literally changing the culture in the city and pushing to create something for a whole demographic of people that didn't even exist. And now you know what I'm saying? Like we in Edmonton, there's a lot of like house and EDM and like raves are a huge thing, and especially maybe it wasn't
festivals, everything.
Yeah, like
Culture's changed.
the culture has changed, and you know what I'm saying. Being a hip hop DJ, it's boring. It can be very boring, and like especially lately, I've been trying to dabble more into a house, at least like vibey house, and like really like cool like. I don't even know.
Or some of like the electronic like hip hop and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I grew up on hip hop and like and grunge and everything. Like don't grow up in Sherwood Park and listen to electronic music first. But we like it's all positive things. It's all good music, and that's one of the cool things about when you're working with other people or developing new products and stuff. It's like there is foreign influence.
Yeah.
Like you guys on the show talk about a lot of the kids here that are like coming up and doing really cool shit, and like it's all inspired by different parts of this, right? Like we're not those same pegs that we were kind of put into when we were growing up, and it's now there's this fluidity between all these things and genres, and like I hate when people over describe genres unless they're doing it just as an educational thing,
right?
When they're doing it to make it clicky or like make it like I don't mind it sometimes because I really hate like dubstep and like bass music and shit. So,
I'm in the same.
So I'm
I'm in the same boat.
Good music. So like I can't categorize everything.
There are a couple good like dubstep songs out there, of course, but
Now all this time, and like there's people who are revolutionary and make really crazy things that if they didn't do it, it wouldn't exist.
100%.
Like it is really cool to see how we can kind of do that sort of stuff. And like I started DJing because me and my business partner separated ways, and then he ended up selling Connected to Blueprint. So Blueprint's a really big company, and I just started kind of doing my own thing. And I kind of wanted to make sure that people were understanding that it's not that hard to be a DJ, just to be a DJ.
Oh, 100%.
Like, for you to be really skilled at it, or for you to be able to be really tight, or to be able to work like turntables, or depending on what type of DJing you do, it does take a lot of work and homework and like crowd reading and like playing for 4 people.
Anybody can do it.
All that, but with technology, it makes it so ezy. Phones, like we didn't have to learn like your mom said. Like and I still was like this is like mid 2000s that I learned. So looking at it now, it's about why are you doing this? Why are you making this positive for other people? And what are you educating? What are you trying to influence? And with us reopening, again, my business partner Sam, who fucking rules, he's the reason why we do a Industry Wednesday, and we've been doing it for almost 5 years, and that was the first club night that you played.
That was one of my
Prime. Shout out Prime.
Big up, big up to Prime. Big up to Prime.
Like it was just like one of those things where we work together through this stuff, and we grind it and we find a way, and now like Church Wednesdays are like out of control, man. We got other people like biting the names.
Everybody wants to have a industry.
They're all trying to be it, but it's cool.
Man.
And I am mad, and like I'm not sitting here like I invented the word or something, so but it is crazy, and it's to see how much that's grown.
Influence.
But then also too, for us to be able to do shows and do electronic nights, and sometimes they take heat because people are like, yo, like you should just do hip hop all the time, you should do hip hop all the time, and I was like, that's what people were telling me when I was growing up. That's what, but
look at me, like look at
different. And then being able to have that experience, to have somebody come into church on a Wednesday or a Saturday, and then also come on a Friday and get a totally different vibe, but still appreciate that.
Yeah,
and we felt it huge. We had this guy Matroda, who's the 3rd time he sold out church.
Amazing.
And he's just like an amazing house music DJ from Croatia. And
wow.
And just like we just vibed, so it's like end up working it out.
Yeah.
And he's too big to play for my room. He is. We just lucked out because it was early COVID. They're doing a tour, and they're like, "Yo, Kris, we fuck with you." So it's just like, let's do this one more time.
I love that.
And it's crazy.
Yeah.
And then so even like Sam and his fam and his girlfriend and everybody was out, and it was like, they're like, that was potentially the best night I've ever had at church in my life. So it is about whether you listen to like fucking Dave and Stormzy or something, or you listen to like Chris Lake and Matroda. Yep. It's all good.
If
you can deliver it in a positive way, in a positive environment, and get the right people in the room and kind of set that tone, I think it's something we should all be proud of.
No, 100%, man. You fuck. I'm gonna say it all podcasts, because there's a lot of things I learned. Just obviously, I had no idea that was like. There's just so much I'm overwhelmed right now. I'm sorry. Live on air, overwhelmed. But yeah, man. I am so just enamored by the fact of what it's become and how you've been able to maneuver it. And like now you're just like.
Well, I didn't do it alone.
Oh no, of course not. Like, of course not.
Man, without Justin, Nestor, like the rest of our team, but there's like so many amazing like side roads, like you know Blair and Sal being amazing and supportive, and us having riffs and then coming back and building stuff back. Same with V and all the United team, and then it became Boudang, you know, and like people, you know, like even like CeeLo. CeeLo just used to come to our club night. Him and his old best friend Adam, they moved here from like Kitchener, Ontario, or Thunder Bay or somewhere. You know, a small town in Ontario. Sorry, CeeLo, can't remember. Thunder Bay, maybe?
It's okay.
Whoever, but like, and they came here, and this is like Toronto. This is what feels like Toronto. Yeah. And then I want to learn how to DJ, so he learned how to DJ, and we put him on. And then now CeeLo's like this fucking monster, and he tours and he does all this shit. So you know, like he's producing songs with like some of the biggest producers in the world, and those are all awesome things that came out of just, you know, them working hard and us creating opportunities. So yeah, it's like, I don't know, I say it all the time, especially when church first opened, because it looks a lot better now after renos and us making some money, so we can kind of put it back in or do things that we want to in the first place, but or just trying to, you know, evolve. And it's really, really like it doesn't take, we can do stuff anywhere, right? Like buildings are just boxes, brands are just names, right? So it's what we do within it that makes the difference. So if you know, you're walking this dope ass like starter jacket, it wasn't cool until somebody put that on and it was like, yo, that's fucking MJ in this fucking starter jacket, you know, and then everybody else was like, oh, that's verified, right? So for us, we need to make sure that we're always recognizing when we're doing stuff, we make sure we're setting that tone in the room, and we get the right people in the room, or people who are there, make sure you're paying attention to what's happening and be part of the vibe. Don't fight it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like recognize that. And if it's not your vibe, then cool, man. Then like have a drink and say, hey man, I would like my cover back, and leave. You know what I mean? Like whatever that is, there's a place for everybody. And I think we just have to recognize that and be more supportive and communicate a little more clearly and say, hey, like, I appreciate this, and sometimes it's for me and sometimes not, and sometimes it's just not for me today. Sometimes I'm not feeling the vibe. And you know, as much as you want to do it, just enjoy it best you can, be thoughtful, and appreciate everybody else who's, you know, getting jobs because of it. You know, people who are like putting in work, people who are trying to establish themselves as producers, rappers, DJs, whatever it is. Singers, songwriters, jazz musicians, you know, like appreciate that for what it is, and just take it, you know. And I think it's all good. More is more. I'm like, fuck Jerry Maguire. Like, more is more.
More is more, but less is not more. We want more talent.
Yeah.
More
time, more places to go, more people engaged. We have like what 1.2 million people in Edmonton, and we have such a small engaged population.
It's very true.
And so everybody feels like they're fighting over the same people and the same birthday parties and the same industry staff or whatever. It's just not the case.
You're just not.
They're just
opening up
more people.
You
got to go and I think that's one of the things that you know, you're saying coming out of this, you know, it's there is less options. Right. So people do have to go outside their box, or they have to just go to the same thing until they're bored with it, or find an excuse to go and do something different, and it really makes them happy, so they do more of that. Right. But we have to create those opportunities, and everybody out hustling needs to continue to keep finding people and finding ways to do it. And you know, I'm grateful for it, for sure.
No, man. I mean, fuck. I know you gotta go.
No stress, man. No rush.
Okay. I just want to get into just how you got into DJing. Okay. Like, what was your inspiration coming up, and like what made you get to the point where you're like, I want to be throwing parties. I want to be, you know.
Well, throwing parties was always a thing. Right. Like, me and Justin made a pact. We're like, listen, we always be producers, promoters first. Right. Never trying to DJ. Never try to fuck customers. Right. You never try to do things that take away from the scene. So that was always part of our mantra and our mandate. And it was like, and when we eat, we all eat. Yep. So it's not like, you know, you're somebody off something different. It's like, no, we're all fam, and we've had amazing people on our team. Like some people very rarely know is like the first person we hired was Nestor, who rules. He's the best. But second person we hired was Dan Costa. So if you don't know who Dan Costa is, he is the owner chef of Corso 32, Barbrico, Uccellino. Wow. And he was he's still a sick DJ. He's actually
seriously
playing I think Bauer Anniversary. Him and Blair.
Holy shit.
Dan Costa, man. Daniel Costa is fucking G.
Oh,
He's one of my best friends for a long time. And
that's amazing.
And he left our team
Right.
to go to culinary school because he was like, I always wanted to be a chef, so I'm gonna go do it.
That's amazing.
I couldn't be more proud of him. But like, there's all these things that we did when we were coming up that were like, you know, part of our process. And then, you know, once we really blew up and everything was good and we were doing good parties and we took Aoki from 100 people to, you know, 5,000 people, and like we're doing like crazy parties and it's super rad. We started club nights, but then when me and my business partner split, it was like I kind of needed to take a minute to kind of see, like, reassess what was important.
Right.
And you know, part of it, the reason why I started DJing was because they were all playing the same music. All those guys were all playing what was hot. It was all like big room house. Yep. It was like the pre-EDM stuff.
Right. And
it was cool, still super cool, but like house music's like, it's dance music. You know, Cascade was the one who said it. It was like, man, people get mad at me because I made the song with deadmau5 and it's like way more banging and way more progressive or whatever. But like, it's house music. House music is just dance music.
Yeah, 100%.
So whether it's country music, hip hop, or whatever, it's dance music. So don't lose sight of that. So, you know, I always took that to heart and was like, yeah, man, it is just dance music. And you know, the top people in the world will always remind you of that.
Yeah.
And in whatever genre.
That's something that I'm coming to actually realize in my own light. It's crazy. It's just nice to hear you say that, because you know, I went from playing in like specifically hip hop rooms to going into like more mainstream. I played at Knoxville's for a little while, and then like that kind of taught me how to like maneuver a more open format area.
Totally,
Whereas now,
dig
like
a bit more and be prepared.
Exactly. Yeah, dig deep and find like some actual gems or things that you know crowds are gonna go crazy for. Well, like as for now, I feel like at the Pint is just a fun place, and this sounds like a Pint promotion right now, but it's just a fun, like, for me, like as a DJ on the other side of the booth, it is a very enjoyable experience to watch people lose their minds like that and dance and actually like fucking dance, because that's something that is sadly it's kind of hard to find in Edmonton in a club scene in the ones that I've played in.
Totally. And instead of trying to pass you their phone,
exactly,
like, they're coming in Shazamming it or something.
Exactly. They're coming in.
Add me on Instagram, add me on SoundCloud. Whatever.
It's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot more of those. There are people coming up to me, and I'm like wary. Like, you know, here comes the request, and it's you're killing it, and it's just like,
yeah, it's nice.
It's nice to just have people that are receptive to the energy of the room.
Totally, 100%, man. And yeah, not to sound like my promotion too, but that was the next step for me too. You guys are empty.
Oh,
but yeah. So for me, I was like, kind of when I started deciding, like, you know, I feel like there's more out there.
Yeah.
And we still kind of were just into this electro scene. It was just kind of still big. You know, we were still like, you know, seeing all this stuff kind of come and go. But I wanted to see more of it. And I wanted
100%.
to see how we could take it. So me and one of my best friends at the time was. His name's Brett, and we started a project called Accent Smash. It was just like, he was like, we got booked to play at the Common, and we're like, at the old Common, like 124th.
When it was just the
tiny little spot.
I got booked for my first Common gig just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, fuck, respect, man.
Thank you. That's Justin.
Everybody,
Yo, everybody out there, man. That was just an amazing experience.
Yeah. Man, they fucking rule. But
being in that, I wish I could have ever went to that. My mom was telling me, she's like, you could put your foot.
I think it's like a purse store now or something.
Really?
It's like small. It's like like 1,200 square feet or something.
You stand on one side, put your foot out, and you're on the other side.
Almost, and it was like roots on the half and the rest of the walkway.
That's crazy.
And it was super awesome. So, you know, I just said Accent Smash because like growing up, me and Justin's family, we watch a lot of wrestling. We go to like Monday Night Raws and stuff. So
yes,
when we were in Toronto, living in Toronto, went to like WrestleMania. I think it was X18.
That's crazy.
And, like, cool. And so I was like, yo, Demolition's one of my favorite wrestling group, so Accent Smash is really like
perfect.
And then turns out we go and play, and we're playing more like electro house. And Brett, he's a musician, he plays like more rock and metal and stuff like that, but he was like, I'm gonna bring my guitar and I'm just gonna start playing over top. So we did.
That's
fucking
fucking lit.
off. So we ended up getting booked for Boonstock. We ended up playing like big festivals, like this Freezing Man Festival at Expo Center.
Yeah.
And we're playing for like thousands of people instead of like just a couple of things. So then we evolved that, and we ended up getting a drummer. And so my boy Steve and me, we still do Accent Smash shows every once in a while. And but me and Brett started doing like, I want to also, you know, show everybody that anybody I want to show everybody that anybody can DJ.
Yep.
if you put your mind to it, or you figure it out, or you want to invest the time and energy into it, and you can be a good selector and everything, right? Like,
I mean,
think about it. Like, your mom's like Blair's dad.
Yep.
Like, Yvonne, like Ivan on the controls. Like, he's a fucking selector. He's not a DJ.
Yes.
He's a selector, right?
They pick the records.
Yeah, man. You're in like you're Jamaica. You're anywhere. No matter what music you're playing, you're a selector. And that's kind of what I want to bring it back to, and just remind people that there is a process, there's a message, there's like an ability to kind of send this out.
Yeah.
And so we did that. We did it with like also incorporating live music into it. So it's so fun. It's super awesome. It's like doing live remixes while you're playing.
Yeah.
And I just press play, man. When I play with band, it's easier because they need to know time codes and they need to know keys and stuff. So everything kind of is like a bit programmed. Like, we still fuck around, but like, they know when a song's coming in. I know what key it has to be in, what the BPM has to be at, so it's not fucked up.
Not fucking them up and everything.
But it's all like super great, and we kind of evolved that. But at the Pint, we did the long weekends, and I ended up programming the Pint long weekends for a couple of years for all the locations in Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver.
Holy shit!
And where we do 3 live bands and 3 DJs. So that way, there's always like an incorporation of like live music and people being able to like, see that it's not just about a DJ thing.
Yeah.
If you're a dance pub, it shouldn't just be about DJs. It should be about something else that
100%.
engages people and it represents the room and the brand that the Pint or wherever else is trying to brand, right? So, So it was really cool, and it was honestly a way that I got to get bully other people into DJing.
Yeah.
People who didn't play like a category specific music, whether they're playing like indie rock or they're playing like electro or house or hip hop, whatever. Just try to bring it all in and incorporate it, because there's always a place for that. As long as you understand what you're doing, and it's cool, man. It was awesome.
I love that. Holy shit. You programmed the Pint for 5 years? 3 years?
Like 3 to 5 years, yeah.
Holy
Every
shit.
long weekend,
So it was, and they had it. Was it at? So you Edmonton? Holy shit.
Yeah. So Pint downtown, Pint White, every long weekend, and it was called Rock the Pint, and we used to just blow it up. And like, we've done a couple since, and like nostalgia and stuff, and it's still been pretty sick. And but it's stuff that we want to make sure people are like getting paid to do work, and we also want to make sure that people are like in front of people that
want to hear that music,
or like make it approachable. So if it's if I'm inviting friends out, or we're bringing people out, or we're curating it in a way like those people are receptive to this, and and again, working with good people, sometimes the most talented people are dicks. Yeah. And sometimes some of the people who aren't that good are the best people in the world, and people love them, so you want to give them an opportunity to succeed.
100%.
So it really did help that opportunity happen. It helped a lot of people kind of sink their teeth in, get some money to be able to do stuff, and get some confidence to be able to see where they could take it. And it's awesome, man. I love to see it.
You kicked the doors open for a lot of people, man.
They just slid on it.
They slid on it.
Like I was talking about before, you just got to make space for people, right? So
100%.
if you're allowed in the room and you surround yourself with people that you enjoy and that you care about and that you want to see succeed, then yeah, man, it's all gravy. I don't need to take anything from it. They're gonna add to our scene and our city 100%.
That's my mantra too, man, which is great to hear you say. Like, just it's all about, it's the helping hand, man. Like, I realized maybe I don't even know, maybe a few months ago, I was like, I feel like my life's purpose is to just be like that. If I have something that I can help you with, that is what I'm going to do. If you're a close friend, like you said, anybody can learn how to DJ. He is one of my best friends. He learned how to rap, freestyle. Yes. He's one of the sickest freestylers now. Also, he can DJ. And he can do like turntablism and all that kind of stuff. And like, he came from Sherwood Park, or that's like from recently, but he was born in Edmonton, South Side, living around here, just a white boy doing his thing, and like just took the time and dedicated it. And
totally.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that this industry that we are in is so inviting, because like you pushed Mikey to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Inviting, man. It's not.
It isn't. No. Anymore, and it hasn't been, but like,
it never was, man. I'm not gonna lie.
You're not wrong.
That's Carmen.
And that's my bad, because
ask fucking Fred Bailey. Ask any of these
you're
people.
Right.
We've been doing it for 25 years.
And that's my bad, because I'm the son of a industry
respected industry.
Right. So for me, it's more of like it was a very inviting kind of thing, which for most people, to a point, of course, because every time there's always road obstacles, but like, in my head, when I say that, I mean more so like the idea of it. The idea of this industry is so glamorous. People are so like, oh, enamored by the fact that you now know everybody and you do all this and whatever. But there are so many people that when they get the chance or the opportunity that they never really wanted it, like you said, you pushed Mikey Wong into doing it, and like that kind of inspiration to me is what drives it, because it's people that didn't necessarily do it for the fact of being a super DJ or whatever. We're just here to have good vibes. You didn't even mean to do it, and it just worked out. And it's like you are, and I didn't really know this about you, but you are very much a pioneer, man, and such an amazing fucking person.
I'm just old, dude, and like I'm very fortunate that we've always had good people around us. But again, like learning like code switching, role playing, it whether it's through sports and everything else too. Like I was never the best, but I was always fucking good, So it was like learning how to do that stuff and how to get through school and life and everything else, and then recognizing that everything has a place. So if you have people who are willing to play roles or put in the work, you want to see them succeed, and we're really fortunate. Edmonton, like I've seen other past shows like, yo, Edmonton's where it's at. Man, the number of times I've heard that in my life is like fucking constant. But I love that.
No, honestly, it's true.
You want to see the successes, like
100%.
Right now we're having like Forever blow up.
Yeah.
I have all these people doing things over time. But like Purity Ring 10 years ago was the thing. You know what I mean? Like they go from like that to like Grammys and shit.
Yep.
Like these are people who like we grew up with, and that live in our city and are part of what every day we do, and they hustle the same as us and work jobs the same as us, and it's just amazing to see. But it's always going to work because of how our city is and the way that we are an organic, like less boastful city, and we want to put in the work and we want to appreciate that, and we do find ways to support each other and big each other up and create opportunities. And that again, it's one of the things like Jesse Lipscomb, for example, he's Edmonton icon too from St. Albert, and played basketball against him growing up. And then
that's crazy.
So when we graduated and stuff, and he was doing stuff, and he was working building gyms and started acting and stuff, and we'd see each other out, and he'd just be like, "Yo, keep doing what you're doing. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing," and we always keep in touch, and we just grow and see how everybody keeps like coming up, and especially being like a non-white person in the suburbs, it's very different to see like how we still have to be conscious of keeping people in the room or creating space for other people. And again, with the Black Lives Matter stuff, I really liked the way Jesse kind of rolled that out, Jesse and Sterling Scott and a couple other guys, and it was not necessarily a direct just Black Lives Matter thing. It was a nice reminder of saying like, hey, there's also Indigenous people in Edmonton too, in Canada, and the only reason why people say there's not racism in Canada or in Edmonton is just because we're just looking at it a little different, because there's also somebody else that's at the bottom in our culture, and so it is a good reminder to say that we have to make sure we're keeping conscious and intentionally creating space for everybody else and bigging up people who are just doing dope shit. But also too, like, recognize that sometimes they're not white. Sometimes they might not be like that poster boy for that business in their theory. So sometimes we have to challenge that and put them in the place. And you see again like Raylan Mendoza and I'll Call You Tomorrow, Biboye, and New Standards and Good Info. Like these are people who are changing our landscape,
really and truly,
and for the best.
Literally, and and musically.
Not design, graphic design, like you guys talk about dreams never die all the time. And but that's like Fab Brother, you know what I mean? Like,
100%.
These guys didn't learn that from nothing.
No, they came up with. They studied.
They studied it. They watched it firsthand, and they got. They could ask questions with people who are the best at what they do, and create and develop these like global brands. And take a look at like things that are happening with, especially I'll Call You Tomorrow, man. I always love that.
Me too.
And I was lucky we got to host the first party the other day.
It's crazy.
We used to do that shit and it was crazy. But they put in the work. They built the brand. They showed me something that I hadn't seen in a long time.
Right.
And man, we got to keep doing that. We got to keep opening the doors, like Yvonne and La Connection now. And,
man. 100%, man.
He's a good boy, man.
Really, really good guy.
Whether it's a black-owned market or like
I did their first
Lola's gift shop that like Raylan and I Call You Tomorrow guys are doing. And Sade, big up Sade, she fucking rules.
Man.
And Ian and all the team and Fab, of course. And Alfred, like those guys are awesome, man. But it's like they don't just do it; they live it and they create space. So
literally,
and then they also touch more people.
Yeah,
I think that's the big thing, man.
All I've seen is them grow.
It's not about like locking down your people or saying, oh, yo, you're only going to my club night. You're not going to this club night. Or how do I get my people back or whatever.
Right.
It's like, there's just more people out there.
There's tons of people.
Yeah,
like you
so
said, there's
just
1.1 million people out here, man. Like,
yeah.
And majority of people want to have a good
Engage.
time. Exactly.
Show them something that they, like, I went out with my friend Daniel to the jazz night. But we went to, like, comedy show at the Grindstone.
Oh, yeah.
Then went to jazz night. And then last minute, Cece and Kyla are like, yo, we're going to Starlight Room. So we go to Starlight Room and watch like a folk country show.
Wow.
Literally, you just had a fucking like cascade of everything.
Yeah, and in the morning, or even when we're at CAFA for the jazz night, you know, Daniel, he's lived all over the world. He's from the UK. He's literally lived all over the world. And he was like, coolest thing about right now is like, I feel like I'm not in Edmonton. And that's what we did when we opened church. That was the best compliment, our first night. And
100%, man. And that's not saying we want to be out of Edmonton,
no,
but
100%.
we're bringing a vibe that isn't necessarily here.
Or that people aren't feeling like they can feel on a regular basis,
Yes.
right? So it just shows we just still have work to do.
Mm-hmm. We've got a little bit of work to do, but I mean, we're in very good. We're in the right steps. I don't know what I'm saying, but we're going there.
I think that's one of the things that I'm proud about Edmonton, especially over Calgary, is like Calgary rules, but Edmonton's more collaborative. We're more open to sharing. We're open to, you know, give each other opportunities without trying to take a rip or without trying to like say, okay, yeah, I'll give you an opportunity, but you got to stay with me.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not. That's just not how we operate as a whole. Obviously, there's businesses and people who do that, but
yes.
But that's not how we grow and that's not how we succeed. So I'm really proud of that, and yeah, like the future's bright for sure. But it always has been. Like you know, if our Alberta government figures it,
they get their shit together, then maybe
we can stay here for a real long time and we can like blow it up even more again.
I would love that.
But we have all the tools. You know, city's been building. You know, and Oilers fucking ruling right now. So
they're doing.
You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of really positive things to be happy and excited for, and we just gotta keep at it, keep growing it, and you know, again, hopefully the Alberta government doesn't fuck it up and make everybody want to leave.
I swear, we'll see what happens with that.
You know, it's been great. It's nice to see this mini renaissance.
Yeah,
over those last
it does feel like that.
Years,
It feels like everything is coming to a head of like we want change. At least we want to come out, like the people want to come out and feel something. You know, even if it's going to CAFA,
if it's different than before.
Yeah, I felt like because it felt like there was a slight disconnect with. You know, the crowds and the populace just being out and about, and once you get that taken away from you, you really everybody starts to realize it.
But then when we also recreate that, like again, like we get that all the time at church. You know, obviously it wasn't like jazz night with this like ICP capsule collection be launched, and it's like a vibe, you know,
right?
And there's a little bit more extra hype, but like we do like I get the compliment every week at church, you know, whether it's like an electronic show or whether it's like a Wednesday night and people went to a game and just get sucked into the vortex. Like, holy fuck, I walked out of here and I didn't know what day it was.
Yep.
Like I thought it was in Berlin, I didn't know where I was at, and it's like that's you know, we want to break down those barriers to the point where people are just like, yo, that's where it's at, and just like big each other up, drag other people out, and enjoy it when you can, and support the things you care about so we can have more of them.
I love that because I will say to everybody always, you have to, if you're going to party, especially on a Wednesday, you have to be at Chvch of John because there's nowhere else. And then just any time that, for me, that I went there in the past, that's the first thing that I thought was like, I'm not in Edmonton. Like as soon as I went down those steps and I entered the room, I'm like, I am now here. Like this is where I am. There's nothing beyond these walls. It just felt such a vibe. You've created such an atmosphere. Yeah. I want to commend you greatly on that. I know a good friend of mine, Cam, has done some work in there, and like you guys have literally renovated. You've built booths up and put the stage looks crazy. The sound in there.
It's crazy.
The sound in there is top notch. I don't know what
programming's crazy. Like Lucky,
holy shit.
We got Breezy and Lucky on Saturdays.
Yes. The Saturdays are gonna pop
on Wednesdays, and then we got like our electronic team on Fridays. But like, big up to Sam and Lucky, man. They help make these things happen. Lucky puts in time when he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
And, you know, Sam and I are obligated as partners in this business, but. Yeah, man, it doesn't happen on its own.
Again, no, 100%.
Like, anybody can build a block. Anybody can build a box. It's what we do within it, right? So
100%.
I think it's super important to recognize that and realize it is about you guys. It's about who comes through and making sure you have the right people in there that care and want to be there. Whether you're spending $5 on a drink and you got to drive, or whether you're just there and tearing it up, or it's a birthday party. Like, yeah, man, we want to support good things. And again, like, competition is created out of success. So let's make more competition. We need more places to go. And if you got to spend your dollar at church first, take it.
Hey, man, that's the one. You know, that's where you got to go. every time you,
church,
yeah,
hit me up.
Please.
Yeah. Fuck Kris Harvey on Instagram.
Yes.
And at the Chvch of John. But church with a V.
Chvch. You can go to the Chvch of John every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And every time that you're there, I guarantee you'll have a new, fresh vibe, too, that you're going to love. And you're going to you're just going to want to come back. Because, you've created...
We did it, man.
You've created it, man.
Well, we got to do more. And
yes.
I think, hopefully we can do more with the city coming out of this. I know the downtown BIA and a lot of different areas are really, really hungry to do more shit.
That's good.
We gotta push it. So go support other things too.
Yes.
Support stuff outside.
Yeah.
And go support, backyard, home and away, Baijo, Wilson's
yes.
All My Neighbors, Smoke Upstairs.
Yep.
EXO Bistro.
Yep. EXO.
Evolution.
Yeah.
There's obviously Bauer, Red Star.
Yep.
All these places, man, like, they don't just exist. They exist because we go there and we support them. And,
and
it's
our patronage.
Again, if you want to see more of that stuff and you say, oh, fuck, I wish there's more to do. Well, find what you like to do. Yep. And let's support those to the point where somebody else has to bite that.
Yeah, we feel it
Seize an opportunity where they got to create something else like that. If you only want dance pubs, just only go to dance pubs. If you want something that's like off the beaten path or avant-garde, then go find those places because they're out there for sure.
There definitely are. There's places you can go. You can go to Baijiu. You can go to the Alchemy Room. You can. There's a bunch of places you can go. So.
Yeah, man.
Thank you a billion. I think that's where we'll call it. Just it feels good. I know you have a lot of things you got to do. You're a very busy man. But I really appreciate you. You dropped a lot of fucking knowledge on us today. I'm honestly, I'm just sitting here like I just is soaking that all in. Like I am so inspired right now. Nah, man, you're one of the greatest, Kris. You're one of the greatest.
I appreciate that. I think you're one of the greatest too, man.
Hey, I appreciate that. Yeah, coming from you, it means a lot.
Great hands, man. So, and obviously, I can't wait to hear and see you do some more. But again, like, just communication and I know, like you were saying, Dill, that this is like built out of necessity or out of like a need to, connect and do stuff and communicate and man, it's worth it. 100%. So 100%. Thank you for asking me to come and share with you guys. And thanks for letting me talk your ears off.
Now, please come back if you are willing to ever. Please come back, and I have tons of stuff that I would like to talk to you about.
I didn't say anything offensive yet. So.
Exactly. That's we only got through one little thing. Yeah. We're gonna have you back, and we'll have a long chat. We'll get into some real shit, and I know
I've year, man. So. But yeah, I'm grateful for everything we have. So thank you. Appreciate it. Cheers,
thank you. Cheers, man. Cheers. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Self Care Sunday. We have the wonderful Kris Harvey with us. And if you want to see him ever, just go over to the Chvch of John Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and you know what I'm saying.
I do a monthly at home and away.
Ooh, oh yes, I seen you every
one Saturday a month. So just watch for it.
Watch for that Saturday.
I think me and my boy Dave Stone, I think we're calling it Hype Machine.
Once I like that.
Hype Machine on the internet.
Hype Machine on the internet. Try to find Kris Harvey. He's going to be at home and away once a month, every Saturday. No, that doesn't make any sense. One Saturday a month.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know how to say that shit. There you go. In the basement.
But
so they have
downtown, support the shit you care about.
Please do.
Come through.
Everybody, please come out, see us. We're DJing now. We're back open. We want to see your beautiful faces. Pint White, I'm there. I could be at the Common every now and then. I'm sure I will try to come and do a little spot for y'all too. I would love to, even on a Friday for some house stuff. I would love to just come drop in and all right, man. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Kris, once again. You're the GOAT, man.